stronger than that. Trouble comes screaming, we always holler back, don't let it get us down.
Welcome to another edition of We the People, brought to you by the Fort Wayne 912 group. We have here today Montana Spiegelweimer and Dan Dusler and Steve Kingsley, who are with us from Hoosiers Helping Heroes, an organization whose sole mission is gifting to the military that we cherish, who have done so much for us. I'd like to read the mission statement of your organization, if you don't mind. Hoosiers Helping Heroes is a not-for-profit organization which has gathered to send care packages to our troops serving overseas in hot zones. We do this entirely by donation and of the goodwill of all who share the same desire. We're a small group with a big heart and a lot of energy.
It's true.
Absolutely true.
That's pretty exciting. Approximately how many heroes do you send packages to?
It varies every month. We just sent out 38 care packages at last month's package party, but with the mobilizations and the demobes, it changes every 30 days.
So you actually send out packages every 30 days?
Every 30 days.
How often do you get together to put things together?
Every 30 days.
So you do all of the packaging at one time?
Right.
Okay. Where do you get your names and addresses from?
They go to our website. They can go to HoosiersHelpingHeroes.org. If you have somebody deployed in your family, all we ask is that they have some Indiana connection, because we are a small group, and put their name in, upper right-hand corner. It'll say Submit Your Hero. And that is a secure website. We don't give that address out to anybody else, and your hero is guaranteed of getting a care package every 30 days at no cost to you.
How do you know how long that person's going to be deployed?
On the sheet, it asks for the approximate mobilization and demobilization date, because we have to stop sending 30 days prior to their demob.
Oh.
They're trying to lighten their load for the trip home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how many cities or towns in Indiana do these heroes come from?
All over. All over.
And how many years have you done this?
We started in November of '06 care gifting to one Marine out of Peru, South Bend Company B Marines, and we ended up adopting the entire unit.
Well, you must have given to thousands of young people by now.
Yep, over 8,000 care packages now.
So that's men and women across the board, any rank.
Any rank.
Any rank, that's
any branch.
Any branch?
Yes. We even had a Coast Guard girl we care gifted to who was fighting another war. It was the war on drugs, and her ship actually made the largest drug bust in Coast Guard history.
That's pretty exciting.
Yes, it was very exciting for us.
Yeah. Well, it says here that you give to those who are serving in hot zones. Define a hot zone, please.
Steve?
A hot zone would be like Iraq, Afghanistan, where there actually is the conflict or a war, whichever you prefer to call it. So it's people that are overseas that doesn't have the ability to buy a lot of essentials that you get back home that we take for granted daily.
So what kind of things are in the care packages?
You name it, we have probably put it in there if we can send it. A lot of toiletries, a lot of puzzle books, little handheld computer games, socks. In the winter we send hand warmers. Right now we're sending a lot of insect wipes and a lot of suntan lotion. Always send chapstick. In the winter we also send a lot of hot chocolate and soups. Where in the summer we don't send as much soup. We try to send things that are cooler for them to eat.
So if somebody went to your website, they could find out what you need?
Yes.
Okay. So the website is HoosiersHelpingHoosiers.org.
Hoosiers Helping Heroes.
HoosiersHelpingHeroes.org.
Yes.
And you have a Facebook page in which there's some good stories?
Yes, you can see all the pictures from what we've done, where we've been. A lot of our heroes' pictures are on there.
Hoosiers Helping Heroes on Facebook.
Yes.
And HoosiersHelpingHeroes.org.
Yes.
Okay. So anybody can submit a name. It doesn't matter if they're mom or dad or cousin.
Brother, sister.
How do you make sure you have no duplicates?
I'm the one who gets the forms, and I know if there's a duplicate. And we actually did just get a duplicate a couple of months ago. A grandmother submitted her grandson, and the mother had already submitted him. So I called the grandmother, and I said, we're already sending you your grandson. And she goes, awesome, great. And I said, okay, I just wanted to let you know that we did get your form.
Well, that's really neat.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
What's really neat is when we get the letters back from the heroes.
How often does that happen?
We'll have long, dry spells where we won't hear anything, but there's a lot of combat. And we don't expect to ever hear back from our heroes, but when we do, that's our payday. And I start, calling people saying, look at this, look what we got, people in the group. And then at the packaging party, I have them setting up there for everybody to read. But it's great.
So you have a core group of people that,
Yes.
that do your packaging?
Yes. And some of our heroes that come back that have received our care packages come to our packaging parties like we just had. We had a Leslie Ackley who was deployed, and she came back and she came out and helped do 3 care packages because 3 friends of hers were still deployed over there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And we took pictures of her doing the care packages and put them in their boxes. So when they open those boxes, there's one of their people that they served with doing their care packages.
Oh, that's neat.
So,
everything is done in LaFontaine, Indiana?
yes.
Okay, how far a drive is that from Fort Wayne?
It's about 60 miles.
So a person wanted a help package, they could be there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you do this like
Well-
on a Saturday or in the evening or what?
We do it Saturday at noon. And the only thing I ask is that you call because we have limited space. And the core group is the ones who usually do it. We certainly invite guests, but we have to make sure we have room for those guests too.
And the phone number is 765-2431-748.
Yes.
And they would call you if they want to volunteer?
Yes.
Or if they have any questions about participation or anything?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. So your support is mainly from individuals or organizations?
We have both. Comet Care does a wonderful drive for us, and we've even had some of the Kaylee Schrock came to our house and helped do the care packages. So we've had team members help us out with the care packages, and that's every December at the Fort Wayne Coliseum. It's called Comet Care. FedEx has been wonderful helping do a collection also that they bring and right to the Coliseum for us. And right now, Midwest America Federal Credit Union just today finished up their month-long collection of goods. So we have the collection Midwest America Federal right now, which carries us through Christmas, and then what Comet Care donates, all the fans, that goes till next summer when Midwest America Federal has their drive again. So that keeps us in supplies.
Fantastic, fantastic.
And a great variety of supplies.
So how many people are in your core group that does the packing?
From package party to package party, I'd say about 18 people
About 18.
that we can depend on every 30 days to show up.
Well, it's good to know you've got a core that you can really depend on.
Yes.
It's
yes.
nice to have people stop in now and then to help you,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
it's good to have a core.
Yeah.
So, do you sometimes come to Fort Wayne to pick things up if somebody
Yes.
says, I've got this enormous box, can you help me out?
Yes, I've gone as far as Bryan, Ohio to pick goods up. I had a factory over there that had a man that was deployed out of their factory, and they wanted to send care packages, but they knew nothing about it. And they contacted me, and I said, well, if you'll donate that and share it with all the heroes we care gift to, we will send your hero a care package every 30 days. So they did that. And I met them in a parking lot on a cold winter day and picked up the goods. So
Fantastic. So people could have it picked up if they have a large quantity, or they
yes.
could contact you and see if there is a drop-off site in Fort Wayne?
yeah, well, we have 2 members here that live in Fort Wayne.
Well,
So if
that's
they
good.
contacted me, I could get with Steve or Dan, and they could pick it up also.
Oh, that's good.
But we send every 30 days. I want people to remember that. We don't just send, you don't have to hurry to get this stuff right now because we send every 30 days, and we've been doing it since November of '06 with over 8,000 care packages being sent to date.
That's huge.
That's a lot. Never thought it was going to go this long. Didn't think the war was going to last this long.
That's absolutely huge. So I assume that you've received some accolades by now.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of letters of affirmation have you received?
Some of them say it means so much to them to know that somebody they don't even know takes the time out of their busy day to get together and send them care packages. And we had one seller said the package reminds him of home, but just like in The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. And that one made me cry.
Yeah, yeah.
But and they send us flags, they've been flown over their bases, and pictures, what it's like over there. But again, we don't expect anything back from them. This is all for them. But when we do get a letter back, it touches the heart.
That's neat.
We just had a canine contact, or a soldier contacted us who's serving with some canines, and he said, the canines need dirty tennis balls to play with. Is there any way you could get us some? We got them new tennis balls, and they're already in the mail along with dog treats, so and wipes for their paws.
Oh, that's
So we take care of the
good.
canines also. They're the 4-legged heroes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They do a lot of things that you never hear about.
They save our heroes' lives. Absolutely.
Definitely. I read on the internet, I was looking at your site, that you received a certificate presented in February of 13, signed by the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army National Guard, and the 38th Special Troops Battalion.
Steve?
That unit, I retired last March, and that was my unit. Before I retired, they went over just as I retired. So it was special to get something back to the group from a unit that I served with here stateside before they deployed. So it's amazing how things just come around, eventually from people that you've served with over the years. So it means a lot. A lot of people don't realize, it's easier for a vet to see once you're home and once you've been there how good we really have it here in the U.S. Compared to the living conditions over there. So when you get a package from somebody that you may not even know, like when we were over there early in the war, we got them from people in Detroit because our commander was from Detroit. So a bunch of wives from Detroit sent us stuff all the time over there. And just knowing that somebody else cares about our soldiers and our heroes, it means a lot to that soldier or hero when you receive that item over there. Because like Montana said, you can be far away from home, but just a little piece from home, knowing that somebody cares, means a lot when you're not with your own family.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure that would do a lot for morale.
It does.
Yeah.
And they share the boxes. We have them tell us that they will take what they want out of the box, and then they have a common area where they lay everything, and anybody that wants something can get it out of there. And I had one first sergeant email me and said, I have 3 guys in my unit who have not received a first care package since they've been over here. Is there any way you could take care of them? So we adopted them also. And we have a base in Kyrgyzstan where the chaplain is asking for goods because guys and gals are being dropped off there before they go into Afghanistan. They don't have a lot of the supplies they need. So they said, can you send us mass quantities of things? And I said, absolutely. So we take care of the Wings of Hope Chapel in Kyrgyzstan.
What do you send mass quantities of?
Like toothbrushes and toothpaste and towelettes, wiping towelettes to clean off with. Just hygiene items, I should say.
So is this something that you haven't always need for that people could provide for you?
Yes.
What other kinds of always need do you have that people could think of?
Jerky and any kind of snack cracker or granola bar. Drink sleeves. They get all the water they want over there, but the drink sleeves that you pour in the bottled water, it gets pretty boring drinking water, and they have all that they want, but they like it flavored. So. Like I said, in the winter, hand warmers are great because it gets very cold at night over there.
Do they need stocking caps too?
Yep, black stocking caps, yes.
Okay.
And fleece gloves, so things like that, yes.
I had seen on one of the knitting sites that I go to that there's a group that hand knits like a helmet thing for them.
Yes, absolutely.
So if there's ladies out there would like to make those, they could donate those to you?
Yes, and we have a group up in Elkhart called Hugs, and they make the cooling collars for the soldier, and they've donated those to us, and they make those by hand also.
The cooling?
Cooling collars, you just put them in water and they swell up and you put them around your neck and they keep your carotid arteries, the blood cool in you.
Oh, how wonderful.
And they have donated a lot of those to us. So there's a lot of groups out there that are helping us. We can't do any of this on our own. We are just the ones who gather everything, package everything, and make sure it gets to the hero.
Facilitators are certainly
needed.
needed.
Blessed. We are blessed.
That's good.
What about the toys that we got from the group, woodworking?
Oh yeah, we had a woodworking group that made toys, wooden toys for the injured children that came into our military hospitals. And I had a chaplain request those. I had a woodworking club that made those. So
oh wow,
we never know how we're going to be
involved.
We never know how we're going to be involved.
That's an excellent idea. I'm sure most people never even thought of that. But
well, if you give that child a toy, that's probably the only toy he's ever or she's ever received, and she thinks of that soldier as a hero, not a bad person like they're being told.
And what a witness to American ingenuity and American kindness and generosity. We need more of that.
Absolutely.
It does wonders. So Dan, what do you do for the organization?
I work for FedEx, and myself personally, I had donated to the Comic Cares program, and I wanted to get involved more. And so I was able to contact Blake Sebring with the News Sentinel and Steve, and I want to go down to a packing party and get more involved to help out. So I did that for a few years, and then I was able to go to my bosses at work and say, I want to, collect here for work. So we did that for a couple years, and now we're also one of the co-sponsors of the Comic Care Package Drive.
Well, that's pretty neat. So what are some of the other success stories that you've heard from people that share with you how important this has been to their deployment?
I'll tell you how much it meant to a father. I was at a scene of an accident, and a man rushes up and hands me a baby. And he rushes back to the accident, and then the ambulance gets there. They come and take the baby out of my arms, and this guy came up and gave me a hug. He said, "I love you." And I'm like, "Okay, do I know you?" And he said, "You're caregifting to my son. He's been deployed for 6 months in Iraq, and you've been caregifting to him." He saw the name on my truck. So
wow.
you never know where you're going to be, and when you run into somebody that you have helped, and it's come back full cycle then.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a lot of letters from the heroes, and they're so numerous, but every one of them tugs at your heart because it's always the same. "You don't even know me. Why are you doing this?" And we don't address them as soldier, Marine, airman, sailor. They're heroes. That's what they are. They're heroes.
So how do you respond when they say, "Why are you doing this?"
Because you're fighting for our freedoms, and you're our heroes. That's exactly what we say.
And tell us again how we can submit a hero.
Go to HoosiersHelpingHeroes.org, and you'll see up in the upper right-hand corner it says Submit Your Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Fill that out. If you have any trouble at all, you can call me at 765-243-1748, or if you don't have a computer, I'll definitely do it for you if you give me the information.
Good, good. So tell me about your packing parties. I bet they're kind of interesting.
It's always a good time.
My mom and her best friend do the cooking, so a lot of the guys say we come for the food too. So my mom and
You have to do a little bit of work for it, but
Yeah.
Well, how long does it take to pack all the things that you need? I mean, the box?
We've been there. When we started, it was taking us almost 3 hours to do it, but we have figured out an assembly line now, and it goes much quicker. We are very efficient, and we can have them done in about an hour, and then eat a meal another hour, and then we visit and talk about what's coming up or what we need to do or where we need to pick something up. So usually about 2.5 hours, and we're done, and everybody's on their way.
I'm just amazed at the things on this list. It says food items: small cans of fruit, Pop-Tarts, Pringles chips, M&Ms, chicken or tuna snack pack, snack bars, coffee, hot cider or hot cocoa mix, drink sleeves, granola bars, nuts of any kind, microwave popcorn, sunflower seeds. Under hygiene items, you have baby wipes, foot powder, sunscreen, insect repellent wipes. Why not cream?
Why not cream what?
Insect repellent.
Oh, they like the wipes to put in their backpack, and if you get the liquid insect repellent, it could open inside the package and ruin the whole care package. So we ask that they send the wipes instead.
So you don't have a problem with the wipes drying out before they get there?
No. If we send a package today, it'll usually be there within 7 days unless they're on a ship, and it can take 10 to 15 days on a ship. But the baby wipes are sealed really good.
Okay. And hand sanitizer wipes, puzzle books, small handheld games, frisbees, baseball and gloves, footballs, hunting and gun magazines. I would assume that it doesn't matter if it's not the current issue.
No, absolutely not. And an interesting story about that, we had a man that gave us a bunch of magazines, his hunting magazines, and he got a letter back from the soldier in Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, which
I
fun.
said, "God bless you," and he called me right away, and he said, "Oh my goodness, I just got a letter from a soldier clear over in Kyrgyzstan." And I said, "Yes, you did." I said, "He got your address off that magazine."
So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have a subscription to some hunting or gun magazine, and they're just stacking up and taking up space.
Yep.
Might as well donate them to a worthy cause. And morale boosters, we have 4x4 American flags.
Yes, every box includes a flag that we've sent. So we've sent over 8,000 American flags over there.
Wow.
And one soldier sent us a picture of his flag outside his barracks, and he said, "This flag will be with me everywhere I go, and it'll come home with me."
That's good. And cards and letters from anyone. Or you can make a monetary donation to Hoosiers Helping Heroes, and it's Post Office Box 81, LaFontaine, Indiana. And again, you can find that address, I'm sure,
Yes.
at HoosiersHelpingHeroes.org on your website.
Yes.
So it's good to know that's there. What inspired you initially to begin this project?
My brother-in-law was a Navy corpsman that was deployed with the Marines over in Desert Storm. And we saw what his needs were. And I had somebody come up to me one day and said, "You're really good at when somebody's sick, taking up money for the family. Why don't you start sending to the troops?" So I started it. There were 3 of us, 2 other members, and we care gifted to that South Bend Company B Marines, in particular Kane Holland. And he became like our poster boy. We started sending to him, and then we adopted his whole unit, and it just snowballed from there. The need with the economy right now, a lot of these young families can't afford the $14.85 per box, plus close to $60 worth of goods in the box every 30 days.
Oh, I'm sure.
So we
sure.
take up a need that the families need to get these packages off to them.
I'm sure that's absolutely true. I can think of people that I know that because they couldn't find a job in this economy, that's
Right.
why the young man joined
Right.
the Army in the first place.
And we are busy every weekend, it seems, somewhere doing something to raise either goods or funds to get these off. But we've been blessed. Something always comes through. We have a group from St. Louis, Missouri, of Vietnam vets that send us a check for postage twice a year.
It's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is.
I mean, when you think of how many veterans families we have out there in the city, it would be magnanimous if every veteran could help you out in some capacity.
Yes.
And there's just about everybody you know either has a veteran in their family or they know of someone.
Yes.
There's a lot of people, and there's been so many wars in all of our lifetimes that somebody was touched someplace, somewhere, somehow.
Unfortunately, the way the Vietnam vets were treated is another reason why I started this. I didn't ever want to see a hero treated badly again, and they were not treated well when they came home. And thank God it's changed now. We welcome them home with
Thank God.
parades.
Thank God for that. I understand that you have also helped the Let Freedom Ring House in Marion and the Shepherd's House in Fort Wayne.
Yes. Steve takes care of the Shepherd House up here when we have an abundance of goods that we can't send and that they can use.
Like what?
We had an enormous amount of school supplies that were donated, and we send tablets and pencils to our heroes, but not as many as they had given us, so they were in dire need of that for the soldiers that were going back to school. So Steve brought them up here to the Shepherd House.
Oh, how wonderful.
So, and then we brought him up a bunch of
Candy, yeah.
shaving kits for hygiene stuff, for the razors, soap, shampoo, that stuff we brought to them first. And then when we were there, actually Tracy Barr and her husband I went to school with out in New Haven, and they are part of the Shepherd's House. And when we took those personal hygiene stuff in there, we asked what we could do for them to help the guys at the Shepherd's House. And they had quite a few soldiers that were veterans getting ready to go back to school that really couldn't afford to buy a lot of school supplies. So we had, like Montana said, an abundance of school supplies, and I brought them up a trunk load to help those guys that wanted to go back to school and better themselves. So we don't just do the troops here locally, we take care of a lot of veterans too that need help.
It's
like-
a huge undertaking.
Right, your CVS and Walgreens have been phenomenal. CVS has a gummy bear drive, and they donate gummy bears, and that is something that will stay all the way over there. Walgreens just had a huge drive of nuts and, unfortunately, milk chocolate, which we can't send right now with 107, 109 degrees over there, but we took it up to 122nd Fighter Wing, and they distributed amongst the heroes there, plus we took a bunch to the Shepherd House. So we always have an avenue to take the things that we can't send. So it all works out.
Well, I think God's got a hand in this, and that's why it does.
Absolutely.
That's why it does.
Absolutely. We made the remark one day, we were very tired. We'd had 3 fundraisers and did the care packages, and we made the remark once that we were tired, and my mother said, "How do you think those heroes feel?" So we never utter we're tired now.
Right. Right. I'm sure you've heard some amazing stories from the people that you have served.
Yes.
Yeah, I was reading a story in the newspaper about a woman that was deployed, and she left twin babies behind, and she had spoken of how much it meant to her to receive this help from the Hoosiers. That's pretty exciting of what you've been able to accomplish in so short a time. I mean, just a few years you've been there.
We've had, I had a group over in Illinois call me. It was a group at a hospital that wanted to start sending care packages. And they said, "What all does this involve?" And I told them, and they said, "Okay, I think we'll do it just at Christmas." Because when people realize what you have to give to make this all work, it is a huge undertaking. But it's one of the most wonderful feelings when you get that letter back from that hero saying you made a difference. You don't even know him or her, but you made a difference in their life. And the people that we have brought together in this group, they're a magnificent group of people. I mean, we have a lot of laughter, we have a lot of fun, but the mission always is completed.
That's what life should be about, is making a difference in someone else's life instead of our own.
Yeah, because you're blessed by blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And definitely true. Well, it's been a real treat to have you here, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Is there anything that you want to make sure that I know about?
We would like to have anybody's old cell phone. Anybody that has an old cell phone that they don't want, contact me. We turn them into cell phones for soldiers. And what that is, it's a brother and sister from in high school that tear them apart, scrap them out, and then AT&T matches them, and we get 60-minute calling cards for our heroes while they're in Afghanistan or any hot zone. We turn those into the Military Order of the Purple Heart, and they in turn give us 60-minute calling cards.
Really?
So please, everybody has an old cell phone sitting in their drawer at home.
We still have boxes at all the preferred auto lots.
Yes.
They can drop them off at the preferred auto lots here in town. There's
Yes.
phone boxes.
Yes.
So they don't even have to mail them when they're out running around.
Yeah.
They can drop off phones at any of the preferred auto lots, and they'll put them in a box.
Absolutely. Or you can call me, either one. But we want to get a lot of those calling cards. We've got the holidays coming up, and that's when they really want to call home. That's when it really gets to them during the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So,
Well, that is something I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Changing their phone for one reason or another. So what if the phone doesn't work? Somebody can make it
it
work?
doesn't. They scrap it out. It doesn't have to work. They scrap it out. AT&T matches the scrap and prints the calling cards for them. So it doesn't have to work. Doesn't have to have the cords. Doesn't have to have anything with it.
It can be in pieces even.
Yeah, it can be.
Doesn't
We had one
matter.
that was run over by a semi that they took.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well, that's pretty neat. So you take all kinds of food items, hygiene items, entertainment things, and cell phones, and accept donations of money and people who want to volunteer to help you.
Yes.
Is there anything I missed of what you need?
If there's any teachers out there and you want a project for your kids, the holidays are coming up, and the soldiers really love cards from the heroes or from the children. Just a card saying that that you're a hero and you make a difference in my freedoms. Anything like that. That's one thing we get back from every hero is that they really enjoy those cards from the kids, because a lot of those heroes have kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Can they use CDs or DVDs or anything like that?
DVDs, light humor, no violence. We will take DVDs, light humor, but please no violence.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's been a real treat to have you here. I have so much enjoyed learning all about this organization that honestly I didn't know anything about before. Hoosiers Helping Heroes, and we have Montana's Spiegelweimer
Yes.
and Dan Dusler and Steve Kingsley, all representing the Hoosiers Helping Heroes. And the phone number again for people to call if they have questions or they want to donate and don't know what to do, it's 765-24-31748.
Yes.
So I hope that you get lots of people wanting to help you out. Or the website is HoosiersHelpingHeroes.org. Please help this organization. It's a very, very worthy, fun organization, and they can definitely use your help. Thanks so
Thank you.
much for being here
you.
today.
Thank you
It's
very
been
much.
a treat.
Hunkered in the sand, middle of nowhere. The war was raging, and he didn't think he'd be spared. He told his buddy, "Guess this is the end." His buddy looked at him, said, "Don't say that again."